Welcome to Angel Health Academy. Subject Community Health Nursing 1 Mnemonic. Topic for the session or topic for the day is Principles of Health Education. Principles of Health Education is one of the most important and significant topic in community health nursing for A&M nursing, GNM nursing, B.Sc nursing, P.B.Sc nursing, and even for M.Sc nursing. So it is one of the important short note or essay, that is Principles of Health Education. In this video, I would like to talk about the Principles of Health Education in two mnemonics. So let us start the video. Principles of Health Education. Health education is an essential tool. It is a most important or essential tool, and it is an integral part of the community health and community health nursing services, because more than 75 to 80% of the services to the public in the community setting we are rendered through health education only, health awareness programs or IEC programs. Thus, health education is an essential tool and an integral part of, or it is the one of the most important component or element of community health and community health nursing. Health education bridges the gap between the health knowledge and healthy practices among the community people. So, it helps to bridge the gap between the health knowledge and health practices among the community people. So through health education, through these awareness programs or IEC program, it improves the health knowledge of the community and it improves the practices and skills of the community. Thus, it bridges the gap between the health knowledge and health practices among the community people. Now let us discuss in detail about the principles of health education. I have been made two mnemonics. You can use any one mnemonic according to your easiness to apply for the exam. So first mnemonic is milk, fish and leafy vegetables are good, simple, chief sources of protein and calcium. In that you have to remember one thing, milk is the capital letter, so you have to expand all this M-I-L-K. Then here one more things you have to note in the mnemonic. The second part, that is A-R-E-R. Instead of A-R-E, I am just using only the capital letter word, that is R. So that also you have to remember. So let us expand the mnemonic for the principles of health education. First, M stands for motivation, I stands for interest, L stands for learning by doing, K stands for known to unknown, fish stands for feedback, leafy vegetable stands for leaders, R stands for reinforcement, good stands for good human relation, simple stands for setting an example, chief stands for comprehension, sources stands for soil, seed, sower, protein stands for participation, and calcium stands for credibility. So these are the 13 principles I have arranged according to the mnemonic. The second mnemonic I have made for the principles of health education is kill senior Prime Minister girlfriend Christina S. It is a confidential report. So there are a confidential report has been given, that is kill senior Prime Minister girlfriend Christina S. So this is a second mnemonic. In that you note that kill, K-I-L-L, have to be expanded one by one because it is a capital letter. So let us expand this second mnemonic, that is kill senior Prime Minister girlfriend Christina S. confidential report. So K stands for known to unknown, I stands for interest, L stands for learning by doing, the second L stands for leaders, senior stands for setting an example, P stands for participation, M stands for motivation, girl stands for good human relation, friend stands for feedback, Christina stands for credibility, S stands for soil, seed, sower, and confidential stands for comprehension, and last report stands for reinforcement. So in this mnemonic, the 13 principles of health education I have been arranged according to this mnemonic. So you can use either the first mnemonic or you can use the second mnemonic, preferably according to your wish and according to your easiness to apply and remember for the exam purpose. So there are 13 principles of health education. In this video, I am going to explain according to the first mnemonic. So I have arranged these 13 principles according to first mnemonic. Motivation, interest, learning by doing, known to unknown, feedback, leaders, reinforcement, good human relation, setting an example, comprehension, soil, seed, sower, participation, and credibility. Let us discuss in detail about these 13 principles of health education. So the first principles of health education is motivation. Here health educator will motivate the community people or the receiver or audience to accept the topic and to practice in daily life. So let us see what is motivation. Motivation is the fundamental desire for learning in an individual. So every individual has a fundamental desire to learn certain things. So motivation is the fundamental desire for learning in an individual. There are two types of motives, that is primary and secondary motives. Primary motives are the inborn desire. So every individual from birth itself or inbuilt, that is certain inborn desire to learn something. Then secondary motives are, it is the result of outside force. Someone is forcing to learn something, that is secondary motives. Health education is the secondary motives. Thus health education can be facilitated by the motivation. So health education can be given by motivation, which provided by the desire to achieve individual goals. Each individual has certain goals according to his age. Individual goal will be vary from person to person according to his desire, according to his wants and according to his needs. For example, for a teenager, it is aesthetic, that might be motive to take care of his or her teeth. So periodically she visits the dentist to clean the teeth and to correct the teeth as part of the restorative care. But or whereas for an adult, the restorative care or undergoing for any restorative care, it is expensive and it is economic. So he may not interest to achieve such goal. So that is the difference between individual desire to achieve the individual goals. Thus, health educator has to motivate the audience or motivate the receiver or motivate the public or motivate the community to achieve their desires and achieve the individual goals. So, health education will be the secondary motives to facilitate the motivation of the individual to achieve his desire or individual goals. So, the first principles of health education is motivation. The second principles of health education is interest. So here health educator should create the interest among the participant or among the receiver or audience or the community to learn the topic and to practice in daily life. So for that, health educator should identify the felt needs of the people or to the group. Then only he has to prepare the program or session of health education that they can actively participate into make it. So when the topic is based on the felt needs of the group, then they actively participate with the interest and they accept the content or the message and they apply in daily practices. So if the health education topic is of interest of the people, of the public or community or to the receiver, then they will listen to it. They will listen carefully and they will understand and they will practice in their routine life or daily life. So all the health education topic must be related to the health needs of the people. So whenever we plan for or you plan for an health education, after the survey you have to find out the significant problem or topic of the particular group or particular family members. Then that topic has to be taken for the health education session. That will create the interest among the family members. Then they will follow it and they will accept it and they will practice it in their daily life. So second principles of health education is interest. So health educator should select the topic according to the interest of the audience or interest of the public or interest of the community or group of people. The third principle of health education is learning by doing. Learning by doing. So learning many things by doing certain activities. So if the learning process is accompanied by doing new things or certain activities or things, it is better instilled in the mind of the people. So whenever there is an opportunity to actively participate, actively do certain things in the learning process, so this information will be better instilled in the mind of the audience or mind of the receiver or mind of the people, then the learning process will be very effective. Thus, learning process should accomplished by doing certain activities. So, there is a Chinese proverb you might have learned in psychology, that is, if I hear, I forget. If I see, I remember. If I do, I know. So, we are applying this last proverb of Chinese, that is, if I do, I know. So, providing more opportunity to the audience or to the public in health education session, thus making them to actively participate in the session by doing certain activities. Then they automatically learn the content of the health education topic and they practice in their daily life. For example, the topic is the brushing technique. So there are 5 different parts of the teeth has to be brushed in a brushing technique. So here the audience has to be given a brush and toothpaste, and they have to demonstrate and they have to return demonstrate or actively participating in the session by brushing their own teeth. So that is learning by doing. That is the third principles of health education. The fourth principles of health education is known to unknown. So always the health educator should talk during the sessions health education program from known things to unknown things. That means before the start of any health education program or health education session, the health educator should find out how much the people already know about the particular topic which is going to discuss, and then give them the new knowledge. Then what are the information they don't have about that particular topic that has to be included as a new knowledge. For example, a health education program with the aim of introducing toothbrush. So, an health educator having a session regarding introducing a toothbrush, a new toothbrush to the rural population. Then at the beginning of the session, health educator may ask the audience, that is, what are you using to clean your teeth at present? So they might be use a toothbrush, they might be use a different material to cleaning their teeth. So the health educator would like to ask that what are the things you are using to clean your teeth at present, and then going to the details like why are you using it, why you are using that particular toothbrush or something to clean your teeth, and then connecting it to the new knowledge. Then he will explain in detail about the present information or present message regarding the introduction of the new toothbrush. So this must be the way an health educator introduce the topic to the people from known to unknown area. That means there is no need of simply explaining what is already known by the audience. Only we have to collect the information of the audience, that is their existing knowledge about the topic. Then we have to introduce the new knowledge. That means the existing knowledge of the audience must be kept as a basic information. Then with that we have to add the new knowledge. So upon which new knowledge can be placed or added. Thus health education could be, or health education must be specific to general, simple to complex or complicated, and known to unknown. So whatever they know, that will be discussed first, then add the more new information regarding the particular topic. That is about the known to unknown principle of health education. Feedback is nothing but we are collecting the information from the audience or from the public after the particular health education session. So for any program to be successful, it is necessary to collect the feedback to find out if any modifications are needed to make the program more effective in the next time. After the session, particular session of health education, the health educator asks the audience their response as a feedback. So feedback is the key concept of the system approach, or it is a key concept in health education. After each session, the feedback from the audience has to be taken by the health educator. Thus, based on that feedback, he has to modify sessions if it is required for the next time to make more effective and successful. So, feedback is nothing but it is necessary for the modification of elements or contents or components of the health education session in the future for make more effective and successful. Then, sixth principle of health education is leaders. Involving the local community leaders in the health education session. So community leaders can be used to reach the people of the community and thus penetrate the community through local leaders. So in all the community there will be community leaders or local leaders. So using of those local leaders in the health education sessions, an health educator may understand better about the community through the particular local leader. Thus we can go or we can penetrate to the community, their needs, their wants, etc. through the local leaders. So the leader may have better understanding about the needs of their own community, because the leader belongs to that particular community. He has more knowledge about the needs of the people, about the wants of the people. Thus, of course, leaders can advise their own people. He can guide their own people and he can convince the community people about the need of the particular health education session or health education topic. Then in addition to that, the local leaders or community leaders can also be used to educate their own people, as they will have more rapport, more communication with those people, and they will be more familiar with those people of the particular community. The example for the local leaders are head of the village, headmasters of that particular community, ward members of the particular community, local political leaders of the community, then teachers, other important persons in the particular community. The seventh principle of health education is reinforcement. The meaning of the term reinforcement is the periodical repetition. So, reinforcement is the booster dose in the health education. So, we consider reinforcement in the health education as a booster dose. So, giving knowledge about a particular topic in a one session may not be enough for the people to grasp the total knowledge and to practice in the daily life. So, this is a principle that refers to the repetition is needed. So, the repetition is needed in health education. It is not possible for the people to learn new things in a short period of time or in a single sessions. Thus, we have to arrange the repetition session at regular intervals, which help the people to understand the new ideas and practice better if you have more knowledge in the different sessions. That is about the reinforcement. So, it considers the booster dose in the health education. Like a booster dose we are giving for more protection to the people. Here, at periodical intervals, the same topic will be dealt or discussed with the people to have more knowledge and healthy practices among the people or in the community. The eighth principle of health education is good human relations. Of course, the health educator always should be a good human, should maintain a good human relation with the community people. Then only he can make that his health education session as a successful and effective. The health educator should have a kind and sympathetic attitude towards the people or towards the community or towards the group, and he would be always helpful to the community people and clarifying and solving the doubts and problems of the people and repeating the sessions if it is required for better understanding of the community people. That means this principle states that health educator should have a good personal qualities and should be able to maintain a friendly relation with the audience or the people or the group. Thus, health educator should have a good personality and friendly relation and good human relation. He should be kind, sympathetic, and should have a positive attitude, and always he would be ready to helpful the community people to clarify their doubts and repeat the session if it is required. So next is setting an example. The ninth principle of health education is setting an example. So whenever an health education program is or session is arranged, always the health educator set different examples, different incidents, different stories to make better understand or easy understanding by the group or the public or community. Then the health educator should follow what he preaches. That means an health educator should be a role model for the community people, because he has to practice, he has to follow what he explains, what he preaches to the during his session to the community people. And of course, he should set an example to other people to follow. So he must be, as I have already mentioned, he must be a role model, and he has to live in with that examples. Whatever he preaches, whatever he explains, whatever he motivates the people to make healthy practice in their daily life. For example, a health educator who participates in a program highlighting the ill effects of tobacco, that is anti-tobacco counseling session, should not be seen smoking in the other occasions, because it sends a wrong message or wrong signal to the community people what he preaches and what he follows. So in this principle, there are two aspects. One is to set different examples, different incidents, stories, etc. throughout the session that make more live, more effective to the community people to understand the session. Second aspect is that the health educator, he should be a role model to the community people. Whatever he preaches to the community, he must follow, because he must be the role model to the community people. Then the next principle is comprehension. The 10th principles of health education is comprehension. Comprehension is nothing but it simply means that level of understanding. So comprehension means level of understanding of the people who receive the health education. So it is a level of understanding of the receiver, it is the level of understanding of the audience, it is the level of understanding of the group or community people. Thus, health educator should first determine the level of understanding, education status and literacy status of the audience, and he has to arrange the session or act accordingly. That means before the session, before planning any health education program, health educator should collect the information from the community people regarding their level of of understanding regarding their educational status, regarding their literacy status. Then the content should be arranged according to the level of understanding of the community people. Moreover, a health educator should never use the new terminology, new terms, new words, strange words, and moreover, he should maximum avoid the technical terms and the medical terms that may not be easily understood by the audience or the community people or lay people. So here is an example of an health educator during his session is saying that eat food items that are cariogenic. Cariogenic means the certain foods which cause dental caries. But this terminology, medical term, may not be understood by the community people or the audience. So it may not be comprehensive to the lay persons or that community person. A better way of explaining this is avoid foodstuffs or food items which are sweet and which may stick to your teeth like toffees, pastries, etc. Then health educator also can include like eat food items like fruits, raw vegetables, which in addition to being healthy also help in keeping your teeth clean. So instead of saying that eat food items that are cariogenic, you could say that avoid foodstuffs which are more sweet and which may have a tendency to stick in your teeth like toffees and pastries, or eat food items like fruits, raw vegetables, etc. in addition to become healthy and also which help to keep your teeth is more clean, like eating a carrot in a day that will clean the teeth. So in short, that health education session has to be arranged according to the level of understanding, educational status and literacy status of the community people. Or in addition to that, always try to speak a simple and common local language the audience can understand better than the medical terms and other technical terminologies. That is about the comprehension. The 11th principle is soil, seed and sower. So this principle says that health education is like a soil, seed and sower interaction. Here the soil is considered as the receiver, audience, people, group or community who receive the health education session. And seed considered as the health information, messages or truthful facts which we are giving to the community to have a better healthy practices. And sower is the person or health educator who give the informations, or it is a transmitting media. Always it should be more attractive, more palatable and more acceptable by the public or audience or community. So that is the principle. Soil, seed, sower interaction. That is, soil is the receiver, seed is the information or the topic or content, and sower is the health educator. So the sower will put the seed into the soil and that will grow in the soil, and there will be good healthy practices by understanding the positive information regarding the healthy practices in the audience, people or community. This is a concept of soil, seed and sower as a principle of health education. The 12th principle of health education is participation. That is participation, community participation. Participation is the key word in health education. So health educator should encourage the people or audience to participate in the health education program or sessions, because active learning is better than the passive learning. When there is a real participation or active participation of the community people in the session, automatically they may have tendency to active learning than the passive learning, because they are more involved with the sessions. Once the peoples are given a chance to take part or actively participate in the health education program or session, it leads to their acceptance of the program. They positively accept the health education programs. For that, health educator should have different methods of health education programs such as group discussion, panel discussion, etc. If the health educator follows such sessions in the health education program, it provides better opportunities for the people in active participation in the health education session or health education program. That is about the principles of participation. So the people has to actively participate, then only they actively learn. So always the health educator make different sessions like group discussion, panel discussion, etc. in the health education session or program. Thus, the people can participate actively in the program and they can have active learning and active practices in their daily life. The last principle of health education is credibility. So, the last principles of health education is credibility. Credibility is the degree to which the message is perceived as trustworthy by the receiver or audience or community people. So credibility nothing but it is the trustworthy by the receiver. That means the content or information of the health education session should be scientifically proven based on the fact or incidents and should be compatible with the local culture and goals. So that means whenever an health educator arrange or prepare the content for the health education session, he has to be systematically refer from the different current information, and he has to say only truthful information that is scientifically proven. Thus the audience may have a trustworthy whatever that health educator say is correct and they try to follow. If it is not trustworthy, they may not follow the sessions and they may not practice in their daily life. So the health educator should prepare the content with the scientific reference, and whatever he says it should be based on the real fact. So and that will be applicable in the local culture of the people and to achieve the goals of the community people. That means credibility is nothing but this is how much the audience or community or receiver accept the content as a true in sense or perceived as a trustworthy. So that is about the 13th principle, that is credibility. So far we have discussed about the 13th principles of health education. In that credibility. Credibility is nothing but trustworthy by the receiver or audience regarding the content of the topic of health education. Second one is interest. So the topic is selected for the health education program has to be according to the need of the people. Then only people will have more interest to participate and accept the health education session. Third one is participation, that is active participation, that is active learning is better than the passive learning. So health educator should make the people to actively participate in the health education sessions. Then motivation. So motivation stimulates the fundamental desire of the individual to learn and accept the new ideas and practice the new ideas. Fifth one is comprehension, that is nothing but level of understanding of the public or audience, educational status of the audience and literacy status of the people. That means health educator should speak according to the level of understanding of the people, educational status of the people and literacy of the audience. So that is comprehensions. The reinforcement, so repetition of the same session at a periodic interval that give more information to the people, because the new information in a one settings or single sessions may not be understood by the community people. That is reinforcement. Then learning by doing. So following the Chinese proverb, that is if I do, I learn. That is maximum active participation and involvement of the people in doing certain activities during the session of the health education. Thus the people will, the audience will learn better. That is the principle of learning by doing. Then known to unknown. Whenever the health educator discuss the topic or present the topic, he has to present from specific to general, simple to complex and known to unknown people. So at the beginning session, all the information from the community has to be gathered, then and the new information has to be imparted during the session. The ninth one is setting an examples. So the fact, incidents, examples has to be set throughout the session of the health education. It will make the live session of the health education programs. Then good human relations. Of course, health educator should be kind, sympathetic and act as a real friend and role model to the community people. Then use of local leaders. So through local leaders, we can penetrate to the community and we can reach to the community and we can use these local leaders to impart the health education, because that people may follow better than the health educator to their own local leaders. Then 12th one is feedback. Of course, always after the session, feedback has to be collected from the public about the session, their response towards the session. Then if necessary, that can be used for the modification of the topic or content in the next health education sessions. Then 13th one is soil, seed, sower. Soil is the audience, seed is the message and sower is the health educator. So the health education is an interrelation between the soiled, seed, sower, that is audience, message and health educator. So there should be always a good relationship between the soil, seed and sower in the health education program or sessions. So that's all about the principles of health education. So far we have discussed in detail with the two mnemonics, so that is principles of health education. There are 13 principles of health education. Hope this video really benefits in your studies and exams. If you feel it is really worth and benefit, please like, share and subscribe my channel and stay tuned with the Angel Health Academy for the next community related or educational related video. Thank you.